morning, everybody. Ah, good morning, good morning, good morning. Who's baking with me this morning? Please make sure you chat to me if you are baking along with me. Hello, how are all of you? My daughter is with us as well, and she decides to come and join me. Let's just put the chat up so I can see if anybody chats. So if you are in South Africa, government schools have gone on holiday already last week. It was in Cape Town. Let's see. Joburg schools already went on holiday last week as well. Also, I think private schools. I'm not sure about the government schools. Government schools here in Cape Town are only going on holiday Wednesday. So yeah, they'll have to have a rerun of this if they're going to want to do this with us. This does not sound like Christmas music. Don't know why it does not. It says it's pre-Christmas music, but it does not sound like Christmas music at all. So I'm just going to try a different one because we want to feel festive and in the mood. I don't know if this sounds festive either. This just says romantic something or other. Oh my word. Does not sound like Christmas music. Christmas music. I wish you. Let's just go from there. We want to be festive, right? So who wants some Christmas music? So, let's give you a quick update. Last weekend, not the weekend that's just gone past, the weekend before, was the Christmas market that I had to do for 3 days. It was insane. The Christmas pies that I made on Wednesday the week before, and the market started on the Friday, I took those to the market to sell, and I sold out that Friday night. On the Saturday morning, because I was so tired that I just didn't do it on the Friday night. On the Saturday morning, I got up early. I had an order to finish off, so I finished off an order, and then I baked more Christmas pies. Those sold out before lunchtime. I had to come home, and then I sold out on my sugar cookie houses by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So then I had to come home that night, and I baked until midnight, baking houses for stock for the next day, and more mince pies. So, and I sold those out both. So it was fairly successful, I think, I would like to say. Yeah, pretty successful Christmas market. Definitely will do it again. I will probably keep my selection very low to a minimum. I'm finding more and more that the bigger the selection, the more people don't want to really buy. They have a small selection and they're like done, whatever. So but yeah, it was super successful. My daughter, unfortunately, on the Friday night was sick. She had a head cold and has passed it on to me. Mine went straight to my chest, and I've been off for the past week, which is why I pushed the holiday baking from last week into today. So we're going to do 2 this week. So we've got today, which we're going to do the 5 cup slice. Super easy, super delicious. Such an easy recipe. Unfortunately, if you don't like raisins and you don't like coconut or you don't like peanuts or something like that, you might not want it. But I'm going to say that even though you don't like any of those things, the combination of all of them, makes it really, really delicious. So I'm going to say just at least try it. Even if you don't eat it, it is a really nice recipe to make. That so between the Christmas pies that we made, the butter cookies that we're doing on Wednesday, you can make a nice little gift pack of treats to give away. So that's also half the reason why doing it with you. They're simple, easy gifts that you can make for people. They're lovely treats to have for Christmas Day or for whichever party you might be having now at the festive time. Although, I mean, I don't know how much partying is going on at the moment, but yeah, I mean, if you're having guests over, you know, it's a festive time, so it's nice to have all these kind of treats. But this is a super, super, super easy treat. So I'm going to say that this is probably going to be a very short live, anything between half an hour and 45 minutes. I can't see it being longer. Because my recipe is super, super, super easy and super simple. So all it is, the reason why it's called 5 cup slice is it literally is 5 different ingredients, and it's 1 cup of each ingredient. Okay, my child did say she was wanting to do this with me today, but she's not here, so she's doing her own thing, which is fine. I'm trying to see where I can put the camera. Okay, so obviously first thing we need to put down is a baking sheet, because you don't really, I find it such a mission to butter this and whatever and then put it directly in here, and then you've got to clean this tray and no. So the simplest way, and then it sticks and doesn't really do anything that it was supposed to do and all that kind of thing. So the easiest thing is to just, you know, do baking paper. And I'm not just, you know, sorry, I have been sick, not with that specific thing. I've been off the whole week. So just don't mind me if I'm coughing. I'm not selling any of this. It's for our own consumption at home, so don't stress about me coughing. Not that it looks good. I'm trying really hard not to. Yeah, I've had a chest infection, which is affecting my lungs, obviously. So when I breathe and stuff, it just makes it a little bit more difficult for me. So what I'm going to do, what I like to do is I like to just use a little bit of margarine on the base of this, just to kind of stick my my baking paper down so that it doesn't move about. Otherwise it moves around a bit. So we're just I'm gonna cut the excess off, otherwise it's too much. And what I'm finding is, obviously, if this flaps, my my oven has a fan, so it blows in the fan, and actually when it's too big, it kind of catches on fire, and obviously I don't want that. So we just you know, to cut the excess off so that it doesn't burn and catch on fire, because, you know, we really don't want to see that to happen. I use a really nice baking paper. It's silicone baking paper, and it's reusable. So especially for when I'm making cookies, normal cookies, you'll see on Wednesday when we do the butter cookies, like I'll use the same sheet over and over again, because you can. It's really, really nice. It's not a one-time sheet thing, and it's, you know, non-stick and pretty awesome baking paper. So okay, so let's just double check that everything's running nicely here. Don't know what's going on here. Live chat. It says that there's no one in. If there is, if you are in, please say hello. I like to chat to people. It would be nice if you said hello. Okay, so super, super simple. We are going to measure out. So I've got seedless raisins, but you could have got, you get a mixed pack of raisins, currants, and cranberries. You can definitely do that, or you can do just currants. This was what I was able to get my hands on, so this is the one I'm going to use. So it's literally 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup. So it's not a very big tray. one of those standard cookie trays, not like my ginormous ones that I use in my oven when I'm normally baking. So you're literally going to put 1 cup of raisins or cranberries, or a mix of cranberries, currants, and whichever one. The currants are smaller, so you probably get more in, but whatever is your favorite taste kind of thing. So I'm like, there's not lots here, so it's literally 1 cup, and then we're going to spread it around. Just make sure nothing's all clumping up or whatever. This is when I discovered this recipe, and I am not a fan of eating raisins on its own. So normally when I do this recipe, I do it double. I double it up. I like it that way. So I'm probably going to just use whatever I've got here and just lump it all in, because I think I've got just over a cup of everything. So I might as well just use it all up. So let's just check. This might be a cup. Yes. Cup of peanuts. I thought that would be a full cup, but that's okay. We'll just add extra raisins in, which is perfectly fine. I don't like eating raisins on their own, but I love raisins, and the combination of raisins and chocolate. That's like my ultimate favorite. And then a cup of actually, I think I'm so used to doing this as a double batch or a triple batch that this seems a bit small to me. A cup of coconut. Yeah, it seems like there's not a lot here. And you just mix it in really nicely so that it's all over and mixed up. I'm going to put the excess raisins in. It's not going to make any difference. I just don't want the leftover raisins. So at this point, it's very much like trail mix. Oh, I like to use salted peanuts. It gives it this lovely flavor, this lovely salty flavor. So you can use unsalted peanuts, but I like to use salted peanuts, which is really nice. Okay. And then we're going to put a cup of chocolate chips. You can use dark chocolate chips or milk chocolate chips, whichever chocolate chips, but use the chocolate chips. You want to use the chocolate chips because then you can mix it in nicely. You're not going to go get like a chocolate bar or anything like that. See, also, that's pretty much we'll just chuck it all in. Just finish it all off. But basically, it's a cup of each thing. And I would say you could possibly do this in a 20 by 20 centimeter square dish. And then it will just come out a lot thicker. So you can either use a cookie tray like this, so then it will only be this thin. I like them these thin slices because it's a slice. It's not meant to be like a, yeah, because you actually cut them into nice big slices. So that's why, and they're meant to be like a finish. But you can do it if you want to do squares, you know, like if you're doing fudge squares kind of thing. You can do it that way too. Okay, so it's nicely mixed in. Okay. So now look, you see now, so it fits absolutely beautifully up to the tray with all that I've used. If when you go buy, you just buy 250 gram of each thing. That's pretty much a cup of each thing. That's pretty much the equivalent of a cup of each thing. But you know what I mean, like coconuts you can only really buy in a well, see, this is a 200 gram pack, and I use half of it, which is a cup, because it measures differently. So anyway, and then we get some condensed milk, and we're going to switch on your oven. Pop your oven on. I forgot to say that. Goodness. Preheat your oven. Depending on the kind of oven you have, whether it's an oven that burns hotter than it should or not. all ovens are not created equal, as much as they'd like to say it is. They're not. My oven cooks at a much higher temperature, so I generally bake it at a lower temperature. I am going to put it on 175. And then you're just going to drizzle this all over. So be sure, because you don't really want to now mix it again. So just be sure that when you're pouring this, you kind of pour it so that you're getting your condensed milk to go over as much of this again, because we're not going to mix this again. This is it. It's going to stay like that. It will spread, I suspect, while it's baking. You know, squeeze every drop out, kind of thing. So this is what's going to combine. This is what's going to, see, I don't really want to mix it. This is what's going to combine. So between the chocolate chips and the condensed milk, this is going to combine your cookies. So that's why it's very important that you mixed all your other ingredients quite nicely, so that you've got a nice spread, of chocolate chips. And then you pour this over quite nicely all over, and then like that we're going to pop it in the oven and bake it. Okay, again, I am terrible. I don't bake according to time, so I'm very, very difficult. For me, it's very difficult to say bake for 20 minutes, because 20 minutes in my oven might be something more. It will probably work out to be 30 minutes in somebody else's oven, and if someone else has got a super hot oven, it might only be 15 minutes. So I'm going to say put it in, give it about 15 to 20 minutes, have a look at it, make sure you're just watching it, use your nose, smell. If you can smell it, then definitely go check it, because then, you know, it's probably burning or it's definitely cooking. But this is basically it. So we're going to pop it in the oven. We'll see how long it takes. I'm going to probably talk nonsense to you for a bit. So let's see. Okay, so excuse me. So that's pretty much it. So when it comes out, we're going to just clean here nicely. So it's super, super simple and easy. It's literally that easy and simple. When it comes out, we're going to we'll slice them up into, I don't know, nice squares around about 4 to 5 centimeters big. And we're going to drizzle some chocolate. So I'm going to do a mix of white and brown chocolate. So I'm going to melt a little bit of brown chocolate, milk chocolate, and a little bit of white chocolate. And then let's just, for decoration, we're going to drizzle that on top so that it looks nice and pretty. So I'm just quickly going to go and get some of that chocolate. Okay. You want the chocolate? Apple or something else, a snack, but you're not having a chocolate. So I buy chocolate in 5 kg bags. Makes it for fun. Wait, I need my glass dish. So I'm just going to do, because I don't actually want a lot, I'm going to do it in a smaller dishes to work with. Just going to do, I'm going to put that on this one. I think that will work. Maybe not. That won't. I don't want to use I've got a really large, my husband bought me a really large double boiler. But it's really big, and I don't really, and because I only want a little bit of everything, I'm now trying to make it land. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to, the way I always do, that works. Yes. And that works. Yes. Okay. So if you don't have a double boiler, this is what you would do. Okay. Pop the kettle on and boil your water. And then you would find basically some pots, some glass dishes, and you would be able to put it on so that it fits snugly, doesn't get stuck, obviously, but so that the heat doesn't escape either. So I'm just going to put a handful or two of white chocolate chips in the one, and a handful or two of milk chocolate chips in the other one. And then, yeah, we're just going to melt this. We're not gonna mix it with cream or anything like that, because I don't want to make it into a ganache of any kind. Because I actually want it to dry hard and cool down and go hard. So yeah. So hot water, boiling hot water from the kettle. We'll put water in both of these. And obviously we're not going to fill it. It's not a lot. It's about a quarter way up. Just enough to heat everything up. We'll put this one in here like that. And the heat of that and the heat of this one will melt our chocolates. Where's my camera going? I don't know why my camera feels like it's a bit off. I'm going to switch the logo off because that seems like it's in the way. Okay. Then obviously going to use 2 different spoons. Because, I've got, milk and white, and so the heat of the boiling water is going to make the glass hot. So I like to use it. So if I do it like this, I like to use a glass bowl with the pot. And then it will melt. It does take longer, but so for me, by doing this, you can do it in the microwave if you're really that confident to do it in the microwave. For me, I find that if I melt chocolate in the microwave, you risk burning your chocolate. I don't, as you can see, I don't also boil it on the stove either. So I could do the same thing like this and boil the water while doing this as well. Again, you will risk, even though it's on the double, with water underneath, you risk burning your chocolate. And once you've burnt your chocolate's ruined. So you don't want to ruin the chocolate. So that's the biggest thing. You could, if you wanted to, instead of doing, this is baking chocolate. You could, if you wanted to, you could have gone and got a slab of Cadbury's, and plain Cadbury's, and a slab of plain Milky Bar, and you could have used that on top. Doesn't set hard, just so you know. You can do that, but it won't set hard. I find with these chocolate chips that if I put a little bit of oil in, makes it nice and runny, and it just then kind of brings the flavor out a bit more. I'm not too sure why. It's got something to do with this particular brand of chocolate that I use. But if you land up, if say you've got a whole lot of baking chocolate, and when you melt it, it lands up being rather thick, and you struggle with it, you just add oil to it, and it will thin it out, and then it will work nicely. So if you just move it around, it melts easier and better and quicker if you do that, if you're constantly moving it, because obviously then you're moving what's heated and what's not around. So because if you just leave it, then the top stays cool, so it's better to just move it around. So we're going to use this once it's nicely melted and, you know, nice and runny. We're going to drizzle a mix of the two on top so it looks nice and pretty. And you're not going to eat it straight away. Please, it's a cookie. Don't eat it straight away. Wait for it to cool down. So we'll drizzle the hot chocolate, this chocolate, on it straight away, and then we'll leave it to cool, and then we'll, you know, and then you can cut it up, and then when it's cold, and then you can eat it, enjoy it, and, you know, pack it into, you know, whatever. Something's going on, you know, in my house. Between my child and my husband. The child is wanting chocolate, and I've said to her, no, it's too early. And she must eat a healthy snack. But she's not happy with me. There's too many treats in my house, so I have to put limitations on all these things, on myself and my husband and my child, because, you know, otherwise we're just going to land up with health issues. And treats are amazing, and it's extremely difficult to be baking treats and not eat it, especially if it's stuff that you do like. I don't mind, and I don't mind baking stuff that I don't eat. So like making mince pies, I'll make mince pies, doesn't matter. I don't eat them, it doesn't bother me. But there are other treats. But yeah, like my child, she loves the cookies, she loves the cupcakes. She's got a sweet tooth like me. So yeah, for certain things. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil in here, just about a tablespoon or so. I have put a little bit more in the white one, because the white, I don't know if you've ever melted white chocolate, you will find that white chocolate is so much thicker. So your milk chocolate is like a nice consistency. Your dark chocolate is super thin when you melt it, and your white chocolate is super thick when you melt it. So the oil is nice because it just thins it out nicely. And yeah, and it just makes it easier for you to use. But especially I want to drizzle it, and I can't drizzle it if it's too thick. So what else has been happening? So yeah, I'm obviously winding down, finishing off orders. Lots and lots of Christmas cookie houses. So many of them. But it's been a bit rough with being sick and being set back. but it's all good. And yeah, so obviously my time on live will be less now over the Christmas holidays, so just be aware of that. I will try and post some videos in between. Definitely won't be live between Christmas and New Year. That's a definite. I need to have a break. So I think my last live for this year will be next week, Wednesday, for the sugar cookie houses. For those who have bought it and want to do it with me, you know, to follow along with me. So yeah. You can see this one's melting quite nicely. See, now because I'm not moving this one, it's not melting as quickly and as nicely. So I need to just mix it and move it around, because if you leave it, then it starts to get cold on top. So you can't just leave it to melt. It doesn't actually work that way. You have to keep stirring it. So Wednesday we are doing the butter cookies that my mom used to make us make when we were in school holidays, and we used to say to her, "I'm bored." She used to say, "Well, there's the recipe. Go make some cookies." And we used to make batches and batches of the stuff. Oh God. And what's nice about these cookies, so the recipe that I use for the butter cookies, is it's actually a recipe specifically for the cookie machine that you it's a machine, a metal, I don't actually know what it's called, but it's a metal tube, and then it's got different kind of not cutters but presses, so different patterns that you can push out, and then it makes all these patterns. We used to do it like that all the time, and it makes the cookie quite thin, and you get a lot out. A lot, when I say a lot, the batch that we're going to be making is like, could possibly, using that cookie machine could possibly make you up to like 200 or more cookies. But my daughter doesn't like me making it that way, and so I didn't have one of those cookie machines at one stage. So I would just roll balls, just little balls like that, and then I would put, squash a fork in it and bake it like that. And she prefers those cookies like that. And then what I do is I drizzle chocolate on top and put sprinkles on top, and that's how she likes them. So that's the way I do them. And doing it like that, I probably get about 150 cookies, which is a lot in itself. So it just shows you that you probably get double that if you used your machine. And you can do all sorts of things with it. You can sandwich cookies together with chocolates. You can eat them straight as they are. My dad just used to eat them straight like that as a biscuit. But yeah, I mean, it's what my mom used to make us make to keep ourselves busy during the July holidays, which is one of our longest holidays. It's a 3 to 4 week winter holiday here in South Africa. So between that and okay, I can smell my cookie. So I'm gonna check it. I think they're pretty much done soon-ish. So you're gonna be careful you don't burn them. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes. I'm going to say 5 more minutes. And then I'm going to take them out. You want them, it's very difficult to see, so please make sure you use your nose and smell. It's very difficult to see because it's got chocolate and stuff, so you can't, but if it burns, you will see it. So try, I can't say to you, do it until it's golden brown, because it's not going to be golden brown because of the chocolates and everything else. But you can see with the coconut, the color change. So that will help you to judge where you're at with it. So I'm just going to put it in for another 5 minutes, and then think that they are done. So obviously, when you take them out now, that's why I say you need to wait for it to cool down. It's going to be soft. It's not going to be hard, but once it's cooled down, it cools down into a nice like biscuit, because obviously the chocolate hardens, everything hardens, and then it will turn into a nice biscuit. And doesn't taste like a biscuit or a cookie or anything like that. I'm just calling it a biscuit. I'm not sure what else to call it. It's just a really delicious treat. It's just a really simple, easy, delicious treat. I have to keep myself in check. What I'm going to probably end up doing is, between the cookies and this, I'm probably going to pack up a few for some friends for Christmas. It's just a nice gesture, gift to give to people when you see them now at the festive time. You know, and you don't need to give them lots, even if you do a mix. That's what I used to do years ago when I was single. I used to, and I didn't have a lot of money. Well, I didn't have a lot of money, but when I was still, like, you know, studying and stuff, I used to make these cookies and the butter cookies and the mince pies and all of that. And I used to make a whole lot, spend my time baking, like about 2 weeks before Christmas, basically right about now. Actually, generally on the 16th of December, sit and bake all, you know, and then just put, you know, pack them all up into some bags with a pretty bow, and then hand them off to all my friends and their families and stuff like that. It's a nice, delicious, inexpensive gift. You can make a lot of it, and you can, you know, share it with everybody. Okay, so you can see how delicious this looks. How delicious. Okay, so what you'll see is, you know, your peanuts have roasted a bit, so they're darker. You can see with your coconut and all of that, that's also roasted a bit. Your chocolate has melted, and the condensed milk has soaked up into this whole thing. So this is super piping hot. You're going to leave it like this. You're not going to, I wouldn't cut it now or anything. I'll just leave it like this. We're going to just drizzle some chocolate on top. Because my milk chocolate's not melted enough yet. A bit lumps. So let's just get this milk chocolate melted. Okay, so my hot water has gotten cold. It's the reason why my chocolate's not melting. So I'm just gonna boil that water up again. Went cold very quickly. So you can actually just pop this on the oven, on the stove top, and boil up the water again if you wanted to. I'm just going to boil the kettle. So we're going to take our chocolates, our white chocolates, and we're just going to drizzle Drizzle, 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 drizzle. So I'm going to mix this up with the milk chocolate as well. And then probably do a little bit more. Okay, see, my milk chocolate's not runny enough and it's got lumps. So that's the problem. I don't want to do that. Let's get this melted. Sure, my hat is making me hot. Making me warm. What you doing? So even though I've put oil in the chocolate, it will still dry. It will still cool down hard, and the oil doesn't stop it from. It just makes it thinner when it's melted, but it'll still set hard. It's cool down. I think this is also taking a little longer because this bowl is a lot thicker than the other one. Okay, so we've got some. So it looks nice with the white and the milk chocolate mixed. That's why I like to do it. And you can make fun little patterns and do whatever it is that you like to do. All good. There's no wrong or right way. Just make sure every little bit has it. Also, you don't want to. I don't want to cover it. You know, I'm not attempting to cover it so that it's all covered. You still want to see the bits and pieces of nuts and all of that, the raisins coming through. So I'm just trying to even this out a bit. But I think that's pretty much it. Okay. And that is it, really. You're gonna leave this to cool. And when I say cool, I mean cold. Leave it until it's cold. Leave it alone. Walk away from it. Wait until it's cold. Wait until your chocolate has set completely. And that will only happen once this is totally cold. Cut your pieces up into nice big, I'm going to say nice big pieces. So like at least a 4 centimeter, 4 centimeter by 4 centimeter square. And that is it. Delicious. Share it. Eat it, try it. Promise you will love this. The combination of with all the ingredients, it's absolutely delicious. My child won't try it because it's got raisins in it. If it didn't have the raisins, she possibly would try it. I'm not sure. This is coming from someone whose favorite chocolate is a lunch bar, so which really doesn't make sense. Anyway, people, I told you it would be super quick. Yeah, 45 minutes. Done, dusted, delicious, done. I will have a super duper day, and I will see you on Wednesday. I'll post the recipe this afternoon for Wednesday's cookies, and you can bake along with me on Wednesday for the next episode of holiday baking. Yeah, and make sure that you watch the rerun if you like and subscribe. Have a super duper Monday. Bye, guys.